The one that everybody's clamoring for, or that I've seen a lot of people clamor for, is Emmanuel Ogbah. And I do love the idea of it because it's been, I told you this earlier over Slack, but it's been kind of tough seeing him play so well after leaving the Chiefs 2 years ago now, I believe. He's been playing great for the Dolphins. I've seen him in a bunch of top 10 pressure rate lists. I'm just like, that would have been nice to keep him because I mean his total contract is 11 million over 2 years. So now whether it would be possible for the Chiefs to trade for him right now, it's a bit difficult because he does count 7.5 million against the cap this year. So the Chiefs only have, I believe I saw it was like 2.7 million, 3 million, somewhere in that range of cap space left over. I haven't dove into the mechanics of where they can make more salary cap room yet. I will do that for my article this week on trade targets and what the Chiefs could do to fit them in. But 7.5 million would have to be an extension is paired with it, or void years, or something of that sort. So when we're talking about players to trade for, and we get numbers as high as Ogbah, that's what you would have to do for those players, unless there's a lever for the Chiefs to pull on the roster, which I think they pulled most of them in the offseason, so there's not a ton. I know you liked Ogbah too. How would you feel about with that trade?
I think that'd be a good move. I know he's not old. I know that he's been productive recently. I know he wouldn't cost a ton. It'd be a smart move. I think he played well. I'd be a little bit skeptical of him replicating the success, but he's been a quality player since he left Kansas City, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. He seemed to be a decent fit with the team, with the locker room, with the scheme. So I think he would be beneficial to the Chiefs if they brought him in. I know that Whitney Merciless has been the hot topic. And heck, by the time people are listening to this on Wednesday morning, perhaps the Chiefs will sign Whitney Merciless. Perhaps they'll do it while we're recording. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. So that's kind of where we're at with that in the ever changing news cycle that is the NFL. But man, Ogbah's a quality player. I think that if they can make it work salary wise, even locking him up for just a couple years at like however many million, 10 million a year, whatever it would cost. I think that that'd be money relatively well spent.
Yeah, and here last year for the Dolphins, playing almost 800 snaps. So he was a full-time starter. He had 44 hurries, 10 quarterback hits, or 12 quarterback hits, 10 sacks, according to PFF. And I believe that was probably better than any Chiefs defensive end last year, and probably will be this year. Where he's actually posting a better grade, and he already has 3 sacks, 12 hurries. So I think he would be better than Frank Clark immediately, which is because I think that's what the Chiefs, they need somebody. I feel like they need somebody. Whitney Merciless would be fine. I'd be fine with that. Somebody of Ogbah's caliber would be a better fit to me. And it's mainly because while I like Mike Dana, I think right now he's more of a really good third defensive end than a starting defensive end. You need really good third defensive ends in the league. So that's not really like talking down about him or anything. I just don't know if he's quite a player you would want out there all the time. And then rotating him in keeps them fresh, keeps everybody fresh. So somebody like Whitney Merciless will help that. But if you can get somebody with a higher upside like Ogbah, then you should definitely at least try. I saw one getting away actually from edge. I know this is going to be kind of sacrilege to say because we signed Josh Gordon, but PFF mentioned Marvin Jones as a potential trade player. And I can definitely see that happening. It depends on if the Jaguars fall apart. They just got their first win in 20 games. And we all know how the Urban Meyer thing has been going. But it depends on if they feel they can't want to rebuild or trade away some assets later. And people have said Josh Allen, their edge player, also could be one of those players. I would love to trade for Josh Allen. I would trade like a second round pick for Josh Allen. If people don't know, it's not Josh Allen, quarterback of the Bills. It's Josh Allen, edge player of the Jaguars. Same name. But he's a really promising young player. And while this regime did not draft him, I don't think teams just, I guess they trade away Carlos Henderson. So I guess it could happen. I believe that's his name, right? Their second year
CJ.
cornerback.
Yep.
So it could happen, but I don't know. There was probably more involved in the Henderson thing, with attitude maybe, and behind the scenes stuff, because teams very rarely trade young players like that on their rookie deals. Now Marvin Jones, not only is a player at a position I still think the Chiefs need, especially because his specialty is border or the sideline wide receiver, so catching passes near the sideline, going up for jump balls, stuff like that. His contract's also really affordable because the Jaguars gave him a big signing bonus. So because they'll pay that, the only money the Chiefs will pay is not even $1 million, because it's 6 weeks into the year. It'll be something like $750,000, because base salary is paid out every week in installments of a 17th of whatever the base salary was. I mean, that should be the same for Ogbah, so his will be less than the 7.5 million, but it'd still be a lot. But anyway, Marvin Jones was another target that would seem interesting, and he is signed through next year. The Chiefs wouldn't have any dang cap if they wanted to cut him this offseason. So PFF said Chiefs trading. They actually had the Chiefs trading for him. And this was after Josh Gordon, and it was a 4th round pick next year, which it's a fair bit, but Marvin Jones is a proven player.